Well, Per, thank you very much for doing this. For me, it's a great honor. I mean, I've been smoking pipes for 40 years, and I think Mac Baren was the first name I seen. So it's a real honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And I have like a million questions, but and being hyperactive, I'm probably gonna go, talking about football and talking about mushrooms or fountain pens, but whatever, So, Per, how do you pronounce your full name?
In Danish, it's Per Georg Jensen.
Okay, so Per, is that Peter?
That's Danish for Peter, yes.
Oh, okay,
yes.
That's what I thought. And you know what? Let's start with the most basic question that you've probably been asked a billion times. How did you get started in tobacco? Because I know your family and you were pipe makers at one point, but tobacco itself.
Tobacco itself?
Yeah.
I think it was in 1999. We were forced to sell the pipe factory due to bad financials, and we were better craftsmen than we were businessmen. So
right.
Yeah, and the market turned, so was against us. So we have to, unfortunately, we had to sell it. A couple of years before, I had started an education as a programmer, computer programmer. And thank God I'm not going to do that because I was not very good. But anyhow, I realized I had a problem because I needed a reference. I could write my own reference, but I don't think anybody would believe it. So the last couple of years before that, I have been participating in Mac Baren had some colleges, tobacco colleges, where shopkeepers from Germany, from Holland, from Denmark participated, and I was there to educate them on pipes. So when I called Per Buch, the managing director of Mac Baren, and asked him for a reference, no problem, and he sent one. And 14 days later, he called me and said, "What do you need a reference for? Are you looking for a new job?" I said, "Yeah, actually I am." "Well, our product specialist is going to retire. Why don't you come over and take his job?" So that was how I ended in tobacco.
Yeah, but that's a far cry from being a pipe maker to a blender or tobacco specialist or a sommelier, if I can say that.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have to go to dig a little bit deeper. In the beginning, I was just learning. The first couple of years, I was trying to learn as much as possible about tobaccos. I was also educating shopkeepers around Europe. But I'm a curious type. Also in my pipe time, what I like to do was product development, making new shapes, new designs, that kind of stuff. And I would say fiffling a little bit in our product development, trying to learn the tobaccos, how to blend them, and so on. And then after I would say 3 or 4 years, I got filled up with all the bad reputation Mac Baren had, Mac Bite, and I don't know what all the beautiful names we got. So I decided, well, let's see if we can do something. And then there was one post stating that Mac Baren couldn't make a proper English blend. I said, okay, why not try? So when I had time, I went to product development and started blending. And in 2006, that was finished, the new blend. And that actually became the HH Vintage Syrian.
So how many years did it take for you to create that Syrian?
It took, I would say, a couple of years because it was not a full-time job. It was just when I had time and I was there.
Okay.
Not traveling around. So That was launched in Chicago in 2006. And
Really?
have you smoked it?
No, I have. I wish I can have a chance to get that tin, but if I want to buy a tin of vintage Syrian because it's not available anymore, I'd have to sell my house.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
perhaps not, but it's not a classical English mixture.
I would think not.
No, it's not because I used. I want to make it a little bit more potent, so I use some dark fired Kentucky, and that is not used in a typical English blend.
And what year again was that, Per?
2006. That was the first of the HH, and
Okay.
and I chose the HH at that time because HH, well, that was the initials for our founder, Harald Hallberg, and it was the initials of our present owner at that time, Henrik Hallberg.
Okay.
So that sounds very logical, at least to me.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it develops. The next two that came was Arcadian Perique.
Yes, that I like very much.
Yeah, and then we had the Mature Virginia. With
Is
a
that the yellow tin?
yeah, the orange or orange brown, HH Mature Virginia.
Yeah, I think I have a few stacked away. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I used a little bit top flavor there. I used red wine vinegar.
Okay, I want to get back to that red wine and vinegar thing. It's something that intrigues me very much.
Yeah, okay. And the next one was the Highland blend, or Highland mixed, Highland blend, HH Highland blend. And then a couple of years later, it struck me, HH was actually made without too much casing, and there should be no top flavor. So I had to kill two of my own babies, the Mature Virginia and the Highland blend, and discontinue those. And then it went on with Old Dark Fire, Old Kentucky, and so on and so forth. And all of them without top flavor. Only letting the tobacco make their presence and let be tasted.
Now, these blends, in my opinion, I think they're legendary blends. There's something unique in every single one of them, and they're except one for me though. They're all incredibly smokable except the rustica. Whew, my God! I mean, you better not get like Russ Willett actually said. Don't get up too fast when you smoke a tobacco of that potency. I mean, whoa, man.
No, and you have to be thankful then, because it's round about between 25 and 30% rustica in the blend.
Really?
I had to smoke it. I had to smoke it pure to find out how it tastes. And that was the time where we were sitting there smoking, and I felt I was sweating. And looking out the window, the snow was coming down. So it was not because of temperature, but it was the rustica.
Now,
but it was a fantastic project.
But
to take something that nobody have, nobody.
But how much of it do you have to smoke to fully appreciate and discover its qualities?
Well, at least you have to smoke 3 times to settle on the flavor, or at least I have. And then you can decide, okay, what is the flavor profile? And then you start thinking about what would be a perfect match. What can we add to this? And then you start with Burley. You start with air cured Virginias, and that is because, well, I don't want to get too scientific here, but
you have to soften it. You have to soften it up a little bit.
Yeah, and that has something to do with pH values.
Okay. Yes, it is.
So yeah, and of course the rustica is it's an air cured, so uh, it has a value of about 7, and we need a little bit sour acid, and that comes from the Virginia. But it took a long time to shall we say, to this wild horse to get it tame
Like
and
in
smoke
develop,
it.
you're talking about in development, trying different percentages.
Yeah, and different kind of tobaccos. Because it's not like that when we are starting blending.
No,
And say, okay, we need Virginia. Well, for us, Virginia is over 90 different Virginias.
right.
So you need to narrow it down and say which profile do I want?
Right.
How do I want to the finished tobacco to be?
Now, is that job left up to you solely? Are you the last word in saying this is it, that's it, or is it the big boss at Mac Baren?
No, they don't smoke pipe. So yes, it was on me to launch it.
Okay.
And I promise you that was not always very nice.
Well, I don't understand.
When we have to put a new tobacco, when I put a new tobacco out, and I didn't know how it was going to be received.
Yeah, but
always a little bit nervous.
Well, here is something. I'm sure. Look, you're an artist, regardless. Okay, this is your life. This all here, that's your life. Okay, so you are an artist, just like winemakers are artists. You know what I mean? Whatever. Basically, aren't you making it for you?
No.
Really?
I only have made 2 tobaccos for myself, and the latest one was the Amphora Virginia.
And that was your tastes, what you
Yes.
like.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes. Otherwise, or in the other product development, the other new tobaccos, I have to forget my own taste. And say, well, it could be that burley is not my thing, but I have to smoke it anyhow, and I have to judge how is the taste.
But how do you separate your work from your expertise? How do you separate that and say they're gonna like this, but it's not my type?
Yeah. For instance, burley. I've smoked a lot of burley, also as raw tobaccos, and I know how they should taste. So when I'm developing a burley blend, for instance, the HH Burley Flake, I knew exactly how the taste profile should be, and then it's a matter of getting there by changing tobaccos until I got it.
Yeah, but who are you making this for? Is it for a certain market, like the American market or the Canadian market? What do you have in mind?
The burleys that was actually for the US market.
Really?
But it seems, and that's nice, that it's doing well in other countries as well.
Well, what about the Danes? Do the Danes like burley?
It's not in Denmark.
It's not in Denmark.
It's not in Denmark, no.
So wow. So there's a saying that you're not famous in your own country, but elsewhere.
Exactly.
Really, eh? And it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I find that difficult to do, to separate myself and say I'm not making it for me because I'm comfortable with me. I'm not comfortable with what I think you're gonna like. You know, I find that very difficult and incredibly challenging.
Yeah, but let me tell you, the best moments of my life, that is when 2 pipe smokers are standing there And each of them are trying to convince that their tobacco is better than the others.
Of course.
And nobody can be right, nobody can be wrong.
That's right.
Because it's a matter of personal taste.
Yeah.
And how your body works out with the different tobaccos.
And what you've eaten before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and talking about what you've eaten before, how do you develop your sense? Do you actually work on developing it, or you're just naturally a good sommelier?
It's perhaps a combination of both, but mostly also when I'm finished the blend, I say, okay, what could we add more that could give it another dimension? And then we try something completely different and add some more tobacco and see how it turns out.
But then that blend becomes a completely different blend.
Yes, it does. And only one of them can be released. Not both, only one of them.
Why?
Because otherwise we'll have too many tobaccos. In United States, they're very they're used to that new tobaccos are coming all the time.
Yes.
Not in Europe. In Europe, it's perhaps one, perhaps two new tobaccos a year.
Really? So you're telling me they're like my father-in-law, very hard-headed and stuck in their ways?
Yeah. When you find your tobacco you like, you stay with it. Yeah.
But you know, it's funny because for me, that defeats the purpose of loving tobaccos, trying many different blends and knowing what goes with what food, with what wine, with what beer. Like, for example, yesterday we had some lobster and my wife prepared it beautifully, and I thought, what type of tobacco would go good with this? Well, I'm saying, well, I want a flowery tobacco and I want something citrusy. So right away, a vapor, a Virginia Perique, right away.
Yep.
And I smoked a Viprati tobacco from Hearth and Home, and it was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's all about taste. But in tobacco, in wine, in beer, in food, and it's all individual.
Okay, so then you're telling me that the hype for Baron Lafite 1922, worth the $500,000 bottle of wine, could be said for taste also, or is that a universal, unbelievable wine?
I wouldn't know. I never bought any. Cheaper ones are okay with me. But that's the same with wine. You have they print the year on the label.
Yes.
Meaning that for a certain area how the weather was yes. The conditions okay? Is it a good harvest? Is it a great wine? In the same field the next year, conditions are different and it's not as good.
Now, why don't they do that for tobacco?
Well, that would be the easiest part to do because you don't have anything to compare with. What we are doing, for instance, our mixture consists of 35 different raw tobaccos. And then you can ask yourself and say, why do they put 35 different in the blend? And that is because at a certain time, we don't have any more of a certain tobacco.
Right.
We need to replace it. And then if it's a Virginia, then it's 1 out of 17 we are replacing. And we found another one that was 98% the same, but there's a slight difference. But it's really? 1 out of 17 and 1 out of 35 totally. And I think I would be a little bit afraid of the guy who could taste the difference.
Really, eh?
Yeah. And that's the way how we get consistency in the tobacco. Our mixture tastes the same today as it will in 2 years from now. And then, of course, there are some major laws that have, shall we say, changed the taste of tobacco.
Oh my God.
For instance, coumarin, that was banned in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And coumarin is a sweetener. It brings sweetness, a very unique sweetness to the tobacco. And when we have to remove that, you don't know how many complaints we got.
Really?
But that was everybody that got complaints.
But how do you replace a unique product like that?
You try to make what is called a coumarin replacer. That's not something we do. We have flavor houses for that. But it's not the same. It's not the same. But that is one of just an example of how the lawmakers can make life difficult for us.
And does it matter to say it could be better, or it doesn't matter?
I would say today it doesn't matter. But 20 years ago, you had a lot of guys who could remember how it tastes. And when you go back to the very old tins, before 80s, there you have coumarin in them, and you can taste it even today.
And why was that removed?
I can't remember the sickness, but it's when you cut yourself, the blood won't stop.
Won't coagulate. Okay.
Yeah. And as tobacco is under the food law, at least in Europe, we had to remove it because it was forbidden to use in food.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I mean, even
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, even if you want to fight against it, you look like a bad guy because you want people to bleed to death. You know
Yeah, but I don't think that the people are eating the tobacco.
No, I understand. Well, maybe in the States probably, but anyways, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Yeah.
And Per, are we living in the golden age of tobacco? Because there are more tobaccos now, more blends, more experts than ever.
Yeah, I would say so. Also because you have the different lawmakers. In the United States, you have the FDA, and whatever they decide is applied to Canada as well. In Europe, we have the European Union, and it seems like everybody is trying to take a fight with tobacco.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's a tricky subject.
Yeah, and for instance, here in already now on cigarettes and fine cut in Europe, every package of cigarette or a pouch of fine cut has their own license plate. Yeah, they have an individual number that is printed on the product, on the package or the pouch.
And that is for?
So that the government or the European Union can stop smuggling. Because then they know this is a legal product.
Really?
Yes, and to make this even worse, in 2024, the same thing is coming for pipe tobacco, chew tobacco, water pipe tobacco, whatever. All tobacco products must have this license plate.
Why is smuggling in Europe, smuggling tobacco, a big business?
Yes, because the government wants to earn a lot of money in tax.
Of course.
Yeah, but you see, the problem is it's not the government itself. It's the way they're thinking, because they didn't tell the smuggler about this. So it's only all the legal companies that are doing it. And a Mac Baren or a BAT or Philip Morris wouldn't smuggle in Europe. It's crazy. But at least they got the law and they are happy. And then they said, well, pipe tobacco, I don't know when have perhaps from United States to Canada they smuggle. pipe tobacco.
Well, no, from
But
Canada to United States.
the other way around,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. But here in Europe, who's smuggling pipe tobacco? We have never heard about it.
No.
And if you're talking about cigars, it's perhaps somebody who was in Cuba and
Yeah.
bought one box too many.
Hmm.
But that's it. It's not containers like cigarettes.
No.
But they can't make up the difference. And that's our problem.
Yeah. Anyways, another thing, and I spoke with Russ Willett about this too. In the cigar world, in the wine world, in the whiskey world. By the way, are you a wine aficionado?
No.
A whiskey?
Well, no. I learned from Brian Levine. You perhaps know him.
I think so.
Yeah, he has a radio show.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah. And he said, "Well, I am the world leading expert in my own taste."
Of course.
Yes, and I actually stole it from him because I like the saying so much.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it could be a cheaper wine or more expensive. I don't care. If I like it, I like it.
Now you're right. My father-in-law says the same thing. As a matter of fact, my father-in-law has a friend in France. He owns a chateau, and they make wines, right? And he was so happy, this man, that my father-in-law came over, that he opened up a 200-year-old bottle of wine. And that for me, that would have been extraordinary. But my father-in-law said it was the worst tasting wine
It's vinegar.
he's ever had. He said it was vinegar, but he said the guy was loving it. I guess because he doesn't want to disappoint himself. But anyways.
Yeah, but you always have to believe your own taste.
Yes.
No matter what the neighbor said or your wife said, you know what you like.
Yeah, but you can be an expert in pairing stuff.
Yeah, that's something else. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's still your taste, because I don't see red the same way you see red. It's But anyways, cigar, wine world, the whiskey world, and then there's the tobacco world.
Yeah.
So when you see Zino Davidoff when he was alive in Cannes with all these beautiful women with this big cigar, all this jewelry and all that, what are we, schmucks? When I say we, I'm talking about you. You're a master blender. I mean, years and years and years, but we're not represented at that level of Arturo Fuente or Padron or Cohiba.
No, and you.
Man, there's more flavors in pipe tobacco than in any cigar. Any.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but I think the cigar companies have been better in promoting themselves. Think about the cigar boom.
Yeah.
Where everybody wanted, they ordered 10 times as much as they want because they knew they only got 10%.
Well, that was Marv Shankin's fault, because he put out Cigar Aficionado.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
So what's Mac Baren waiting for to pump up the world of the pipe tobacco? Because if not them, who?
Yeah. Well, that time is over. At least in Europe, it's not allowed anymore.
Oh.
To personalize. You also had a lot of guys. For instance, I remember Schwarzenegger was smoking cigars.
Yes.
And then much later, actually half a year ago, I saw pictures of him smoking pipe. But there was no fuss about it.
No.
But I think then we can say us pipe smokers, we are a little bit more calm.
Well,
we don't get excited that easily.
Yeah, but to our detriment, I mean, we're not. I don't see you right next to the Queen of England, because you're this and that. But Zino Davidoff, you can have tea with the Queen of England anytime.
Yeah.
If he was alive, that is,
Yeah. That's why. No,
Oh,
I don't know why we haven't had any, and we have good folks in the pipe tobacco
absolutely,
business.
absolutely.
But I don't know why nobody have what do you say, burn through and stand there as a star. No, I think it takes too long time. It's too difficult for non-pipe smokers to understand what are you doing there, filling his pipe and playing with the thing, and now he's lightening up, and but what they don't understand, that is, pipe smoking is actually a psychological first aid.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You learn to live with your thoughts.
It's a wonderful thing. And it's a beautiful, like when I have what did I just have from Mac Baren? I had the Royal Twist, which I love, and you just sit down and you think a little bit, because I don't smoke a pipe around people and just for smoking. When I smoke, I'm smoking. It's like when I'm having a good meal, you're eating. You're all involved. Same thing with tobacco. I sit down, I relax. The birds are going tweet, 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 and I'm just, oh my God. And I think of people like you. I think, thank God this guy's alive to give me this moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's peace and quiet.
Absolutely.
Have you ever seen, I've seen it once, but have you ever seen an aggressive pipe smoker?
Actually, no.
No?
No.
I even tried to find out how many pipe smokers were in jail. And it came back 0.
Yeah.
So tell that to the bank, then you can get a bigger credit.
That's good. Okay, so going back to the vinegar thing, the vinegar, you blended. I think your recent blend, if I'm not mistaken, was with Sutliff. The Uno.
Yes, I would say let's take that after your questions about the vinegar.
Okay,
because
so now, from what I know, and I don't know anything, vinegar was said to be used as a when you want to keep tobacco longer, a preservative of sorts.
Preservative, yeah.
No, but still, the taste and the smell. Because when I opened my first, it's been 40 years I smoke a pipe, but I had stopped for a while, and I just got back about 2 years ago, and there was this new thing, Seattle Pipe Club, blah blah blah, and I opened it up, and the first thing that hit me was the face of my grandfather and me making wine. And the smell of we called it vanach, the smell of the grapes fermenting. And I thought, oh my God, this is a beautiful thing for me. But as time goes on, it dissipates a little bit.
Yeah, and then that also depends on shall we say, which kind of guy you are. I am a guy for sour things.
Yes, so am I.
For instance, cucumbers. Then I'm living. And in totally sauerkraut.
Yes.
I don't know if it's white cabbage.
We have a big German community here. Yes.
Yeah, fermented, and I also like that very much. On the sweet side, cakes and so on, it's not really my thing.
What about a cannoli, an Italian cannoli?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not something I would drive an extra mile for.
I understand.
But give me something with cucumbers or sauerkraut or something that's sour.
Kimchi.
That's all. Sorry.
Kimchi.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know the Korean pickled lettuce.
Yeah. And pickle. That means it's with vinegar.
Yeah, it's fermented.
Yeah, and that was actually why I choose this red wine balsamico, because I use it on my salad at home.
Now, is there a certain blend mark that you've chosen? Which balsamic vinegar did you choose?
Oh, it was.
Because
I don't know.
The older the balsamic vinegar, the sweeter.
Yeah. What do we call it? Is it biological or ecological?
Well, biological, I guess. Yeah, biological.
Yeah, with no fertilizer, no poison, and I took a very good one of those. And we actually ended up using that. Not a flavor, but we actually used the apple cider vinegar in
apple cider.
Apple cider, yeah.
And
I think its origins in Massachusetts or something like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, they use it for walking better, but
yes,
no matter what. But I like that very much, and it is sour. And I have mature Virginia. Virginia is sour in itself, so it was sour on sour.
So you would add that vinegar to already a sour product.
Yeah, but it was just minimal. But you got the smell, you got the taste of it.
Which blends are you talking about?
That is the mature Virginia.
No, but which blend? The HH mature
Yeah.
No wonder I like it so much. It's a very nice, very, very nice tobacco. I always seem to want to go there, but I don't want to smoke all my HH Virginia tobaccos. And by the way, in Europe, just like in Canada, we pay an incredible amount of taxes when you want to buy a tin of tobacco. It's crazy. A tin of tobacco in the United States that costs $10. I have enough fingers. $10 cost here in Canada without tax $55.
Yeah, and who are the crooks? Yeah, they should arrest themselves.
Yeah, okay. So you don't add vinegar. Do you add it as a preservative or do you add it as a taste profile?
First in line as preservative. If you take the old dark fired, I don't know if you have smoked it.
Yes.
And you take the Bold Kentucky, and even the rustica, they have more or less vinegar in it. But no normal vinegar.
Now, why does that? I'm going to say top flavor for lack of a better word. Okay, why does that top flavor in time go?
The vinegar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is because it evaporates.
Okay, so that's like the share of the angels type thing.
Yeah. And you can still taste it because it's in the tobacco, but not like when you open the tin.
I know.
Yeah, then you get a lot of smelling and stuff like that, and then it turns a little bit down, but it's still in the taste.
Now, is there any way to preserve that tin? Is there any way to preserve that tin somehow? Once it's opened.
To preserve it.
Like if you want to cellar it.
Yeah, if you open it, well, a tin is not a tin because we have tins with vacuum and we have tins without vacuum.
Okay.
Tins without vacuum. That is Sutcliffe use a lot. Cornell and Deal use a lot. It's like when you're just taking the lid off.
Okay.
With the Mac Baren tins, you have to release the vacuum.
Yes.
We're taking 40% of the air out of the tin, and that preserves the tobacco for 40, 50, 60 years. 70 perhaps. I don't know. If you want to keep that,
Yeah.
Perhaps in your household, you have this vacuum machine.
Really? Okay.
So you put the tin, the open tins, when you say, well, I don't want to smoke more of this at the moment. So you can either vacuum it in a plastic bag, or you can buy a very good mason jar with a rubber sealing that you can make airtight. One of those methods are, in my opinion, the best.
Now, in terms of aging, I got a few questions to ask you on aging. Doesn't the air anaerobically age the tobacco a certain way, and removing that, doesn't it slow down the process?
When you remove the vacuum, it definitely slow down the process.
When you remove the air, you're saying when you remove the air.
Yes, yeah, because in the tin it was not boiling, but I would say it was lying in the tin, having a cozy time, and
so it's not fermenting. It's not fermenting.
No, it's not fermenting, because you need a certain temperature. You need a certain humidity to start to fermentate, and there's nothing like that in the tobacco, because if we had that much humidity, it would mold.
I see.
So that's not, but it's changing a bit, and especially you can see it. Virginias, for instance, are getting more mellow. A Virginia that you find sharp when you smoke it, age it for a year or two, and you'll have a beautiful mellow tobacco.
Now, is there I wrote this down. Is there a point where the tobacco itself is not relevant anymore in terms of aging?
I would say if you go past, and now I know a lot of pipe smokers will disagree with me, but I normally say 5 to 6 years.
Really, eh? Because I saw a video of you smelling and tasting a 45-year-old Mac Baren tin, the mixture, Mac Baren mixture.
Yeah.
Now, near the end of the video, I saw you grabbing some, so I'm assuming it was a really good tobacco.
You have to remember that was one with coumarin, the stuff we are not allowed to use anymore.
And how did it hold up?
Perfect. It was a very mellow experience of a mixture. When you open up a fresh tin, and you smoke right out of it, very often it pretends to be a bit sharp.
Yes.
Then it needs a week or so just to climatize.
I mean, do you do that yourself personally with any tin you open? You open it, you leave it a week, and you come back to it?
Yeah, sure.
You mean you don't smoke it right away, like yay?
Yeah. I smoke it, but before I'm through a tin, many weeks have passed. So I do that in praxis. I smoke it when I open it, of course, and then I leave the rest until next time I smoke.
And what would a couple of months actually make a difference?
It will. It mellows it a bit out. For instance, if you have you ever tried the Amphora Virginia?
No, I haven't.
No. Amphora Virginia is made out of only Virginias. So it
seems a little sharp.
Yes, but then it's hot pressed, meaning that we are pressing the tobacco, and at the same time we are adding heat. And this heat, it's almost starting a Cavendish process.
Okay.
But we are using the natural sugar in the tobacco to change the flavor. And if you ever tried the Amphora Virginia, I'm sure you will say to me afterwards, you're right, it doesn't bind.
And this is a blend that you created, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to try it.
That
Ah,
and the HH Pure Virginia. It's a flake.
it's a flake, eh? And
Yeah,
and and
pure
now
Virginia is a flake.
when you hold on, when you say pure Virginia, is that automatically a flake, or are you just saying the amphora?
No, the HH Pure Virginia,
Yes, it's a flake.
that's a flake. And the
Yes,
Amphora Virginia is another tobacco.
and that's a
But
flake too.
no, it's already rubbed.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So, but both are only based on Virginias.
And are both steam pressed?
Yes. Because if you smoke, you can make a comparison. If tobacco was not that expensive in Canada. Because if you're trying one of those I just mentioned, and then afterwards you try a pipe filling of Virginia number 1, you'll notice the difference. Virginia number 1 can be very bitey. And when we are talking about bite, we have to remember some people like it. Some people can't live without it.
Really?
So, yeah, sure. Because we in United States, we are selling a lot of Virginia number 1.
They have asbestos mouth or something. I don't.
Yeah, and it's a Virginia tobacco, but it tends to bite if you don't know how to smoke it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the others don't.
So now, a pair. Here's a question: the difference between bite and peppery.
Peppery is what I would call is a spice. It's a spice. You can when you have a tongue bite, you are never in doubt what is going on
You're right.
because you feel it on your tongue.
Yeah, for a couple of days.
Yeah, the peppery that is just I used to compare it with it's my sick imagination. Small dogs running on the tongue and just nipping on the tongue. That is peppery, and then you can feel it on your lips as well.
And what tobacco brings out that a lot? Is it a process that brings that out, or is it a tobacco itself?
It's mostly used when you're talking about Perique. Then you get this peppery, spicy taste.
And is it more peppery than flowery?
Yes, much. Yeah. It's much more peppery than flowery.
So if I was to smoke a pure bowl of Perique, I'm not going to enjoy myself.
You will probably be lying on the floor.
Really, eh? High in nicotine?
Yes, it's big burley leaves that have been fermented. And if you're talking nicotine-wise, you're talking 2 to 4%. In Virginia burleys, 4% is very high. Normally, it's around about 2.5%. And if you're talking about Perique, you're above 6.
And now, does the nicotine percentage affect taste?
Yes, because you as a smoker, if you know that you can smoke everything and you're not getting affected by the nicotine, it's good. But if your neighbor smokes the same tobacco as you do, and he's not so resistant with nicotine, then he looks funny. Then he starts sweating and getting problems with his stomach and stuff like that.
But I mean, other than that, like in alcohol, in spirits, you can buy a whiskey that's 40%. You can buy a whiskey that's 65%, and that alters the taste completely.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I meant. Does nicotine percentage, the higher it goes, affect the taste?
Tobaccos with a high nicotine, you don't get these very mild, smooth aromatics. High nicotine, you are more into the natural taste.
I see.
Yeah, and an experience, a body experience where you actually can feel you're smoking.
Jesus.
Where if you smoked a normal aromatic. You wouldn't recognize it. But smoking this heavy ones, that's probably the same with the rustica.
And
There are people that loves it, and there are people that hates it. And I knew that in up front.
And how was it received? The rustica.
Very good, very good, very good.
It's still a seller.
It's still a seller, yes.
And aging a rustica will make a difference.
Won't make that much difference because aging, I say Virginia is the best to age, and the percentage in rustica is not that high.
Okay.
So it you'll only get a slight difference, but yeah.
Because I saw a video of a guy smoking really old English blend that had a lot of latakia in it, and he said the latakia flavor is a top note in the nose, but all that heaviness of the latakia is completely gone.
Yeah, the smokiness of the latakia takes off. It disappears. Not all of it, but
that's what he was saying.
Yeah. Actually, when you open a tin, it starts to evaporate.
Let me ask you another question. Per, can we still go on? Are you okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You personally, and I know. I'm gonna say the Danes, okay? For in all ignorance, they seem to enjoy aromatics more.
Yeah.
Okay. And is aromatics a bad word?
Not at all. No, again, here you have to look at the different pipe smokers. You have a big group that are smoking, and that is the biggest group who are smoking aromatic pipe tobacco.
But then you meet some pipe smokers, and they'll say, "Oh, what kind of tobacco do you have?" And you show them your pouch. They smell it and they say, "Oh, you're smoking aromatics," as if you're a lower creature than them.
No, and now we are back to the wine. If you're coming out of a shop with a cheap bottle of wine and somebody you know who is a big wine seller, he would just look at you and what are you doing?
Okay, so basically it's arrogance.
Yeah, and perhaps not arrogance, but it's. I wouldn't say aromatic is bad tobacco. Aromatics was not invented, but almost in United States. The burley tobacco is a thicker leaf, meaning it's more what we call drinkable, meaning it can take a lot of casing and a lot of flavor and store it inside the leaf. In Europe, we are more Virginia based, and Virginia doesn't drink that much. So if you want a very heavy aromatic, well, you use a lot of burley because you can put as much on it as more or less as you want.
I understand.
Yeah, if you take some of the biggest American aromatics made out of burley, because they can actually put so much in it. And if you're smoking a pouch, and that's a funny thing for me, because pouches in United States, it's like, oh, you're smoking tobacco out of a pouch. Can you do that? So like that. Here in Europe, you start with a pouch, and if you like it, you buy a tin. It's nothing. We are not looking at tobacco in pouches as something cheaper.
So what Mac Baren has pouched. Like many, because we don't have them here. We don't have the pouches of Mac Baren.
No, but we have them. We have them.
And does it make a difference in flavor?
It will over time, because a tin with vacuum will last for decades.
Right.
Tobacco in a pouch has a duration of about 1 year.
Really? Even if it's sealed?
Yeah, because it's a plastic pouch, and even if the plastic, we say, well, it's airtight, it's not. Humidity will disappear.
And is I know the tins are 50 grams. Is the pouch 50 grams or is it less?
We have 50. Our standard is 50 gram.
50 grams, eh?
Yeah, yes. Except for the countries where the taxation is extremely high.
And that would
There we can go to 38 gram or whatever to hit the right price.
And what countries would that be, Per?
Denmark.
Jeez.
Unfortunately.
Seriously.
Yeah. And Denmark used to be the most pipe smoking country on the world.
So that's why they taxed you like crazy.
Yeah, but totally pipe smoking or pipe tobacco is about 4% of the use of tobacco in the world. So 4%, what is that? That is not where they get the money.
No. Do you know what cigars are? What the percentage of cigars?
I don't know. I have never been a cigar guy.
Okay. And do you smoke daily for pleasure?
Yes. You should see me in the morning without coffee and tobacco. You don't want to meet me.
But and you're still working at Mac Baren, is that right?
Yes.
You're still excuse me. You're still tasting at Mac Baren, is that right?
Yeah.
Every day?
No, not every day. No. That is developing a new tobacco is more a project where you start it and then it takes time. For instance, if we're going to make a new flake, then you have to press it. You have to put it into the power press, and then you have to store it for 30 days. So if we make a correction in the tobacco or in the flavor or whatever,
it's 1 month every time.
Yes, that goes away. That's a problem.
And are you paid by project or paid by?
No. I do a lot of other stuff. Yeah. No problem. No
and
problem.
What's your preferred cut?
My preferred cut?
Yes.
Is a ready rubbed or flake.
Ready rubbed, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It perhaps take a few more relights at the beginning.
Yeah.
But when it's going, you touch smoke to the bottom if you want.
So, and because I saw a video of you teaching people how to smoke coins.
Yeah.
Now, you bent the coins, and that's probably your preferred way of doing it, folding the coins and putting it in, right? But that doesn't mix the tobacco completely, as if you would rub it.
No, that's right.
So that's a different flavor profile.
Yeah, if I would rub, now we are talking about the tobacco coins.
Yes.
If I would rub those, we would have some very thin cut tobacco that would burn fantastic. And the problem is the higher temperature you get. Then we are back to talking Virginia now, which contains natural sugar. Starts out to be sweet. If the temperature is getting high, then the sweetness turns into acid. And it's the acid that starts working on your tongue.
I get it. It's like when you're roasting garlic. There's that fine line between it going rancid and not.
Yeah. So a tobacco coin, I'm not to say what pipe smokers should do, but my recommendation is always to put them on top of each other and fold them.
Now, I mean, that came with years of smoking tobacco, because I'm sure when you were younger, smoking a tobacco, you never thought about folding a flake.
Nope, I didn't.
Always rubbing it all the time.
Yeah, well, I learned that from my father.
Oh, your dad would fold the flakes?
No, he won't. He had his own mixture of dark twist, yellow capstan, and red players. Red players doesn't exist anymore.
The cigarette players?
No, a pipe tobacco.
Okay.
But the players was cut extremely fine. And those three he mixed together, put it into a jar, and then he filled his tobacco pouch every morning, and then he smoked. That was also my first tobacco I ever tried. And I tell you, I fell down the chair.
Oh man, okay, so it's very strong.
That was heavy. That was heavy.
Now, there's no. Yeah. Have you tried to replicate that blend?
No.
It's that strong.
It's too strong, and it's too fine. It burns too rapid. I don't know why. I don't know why he did it like that, but he also did.
And was your dad a gourmand? Did he enjoy food and stuff, or was his tongue totally burnt?
No. It was not. No. He liked food, but I wouldn't say he was a gourmet.
Okay.
He as he said, he has a very simple taste. The best is good enough.
Okay, so that was his blend, and that's it.
Yeah,
He's not going to try any other blend. He doesn't have to. That's the one he likes.
Yeah, and he continued to buy all the tobaccos. So he had a stash for whenever some of them was going to go out of production, which never happened. Yeah. But and we're now talking about. I started with pipe smoking when I was 15, and that's a couple of centuries ago. But we are here talking about mid 70s, and then the tobacco was available then, but not anymore.
Are you a sports fan?
Yeah.
Football?
Depending, American or soccer?
When I say football, I'm Italian. Come on, I'm talking about soccer.
Sorry, then it's soccer. Yeah. And you have to remember this: the 26th of June, 1992, Denmark was European champions in soccer. Yeah. I don't know, but there are some dates that they just keep hanging.
Well, yeah. So that makes me think you're a football fan, because if you could,
I am.
and you know, now the World Cup, Canada has made the cut.
Yeah.
Italy didn't make it.
Yeah. Well, I think they were just polite to let Canada have their place.
Whoa! Take it easy. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Per, your art versus business. Is there a conflict? Yeah, I have to ask that.
Yeah, there, of course, there are always conflicts, because if it was my decision alone,
yes,
we would continue to make new tobaccos and put them on the market as soon as we could.
And basically making Mac Baren money.
Yeah, but today it's very difficult. Also with this track and trace, what I told you about the license plate, and has to register and all kind of stuff. So that probably won't happen, unfortunately. But there's my conflict. I would like to make as many as possible, and then the company says, "Oh, hold on, we cannot do that many."
Yeah, because just the research and I'm sorry, the phone is ringing here.
Yeah, no problem.
I just want to turn it on and turn it off.
Yep.
I guess the research and the research that you have to pay, not the research, the licenses that you have to pay every single new blend, every product in the blend is just it's a pain in the ass, and I'm sure No one wants to go through that. That's what Russ was telling me. It's just, it's insane.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Now, has pipe tobacco, has it grown or has it gone down?
We have an annual decline. It's now very small, but there is a decline every year. But I would say I'm so happy to 4 or 5 years ago in Chicago, I started seeing younger people. They came from college in T-shirts with their college name and stuff like that. And the first year I was looking, what's going on here? And then I found out, well, the new generation is coming. Perhaps we have had a generation where they said, well, my father smoked a pipe. I am not going to smoke a pipe.
I understand.
And now we're one generation further where they say, oh man, my grandfather, it always smelled so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Why not try it? So I don't know if it's
but
I think
you're saying there's a decline, so there's got to be an increase somehow. No? In tobacco, no, still a decline.
Yeah. Probably there is an increase in tobacco, but it's other products. These new chew bags. Snus.
Oh yes, snus, yes.
Yeah, and they're packed in bags. And now they are one step further. They make white powder, which they add nicotine to it. And then you put these small bags in your mouth, and then if you're a strong person, you chew on them, and then you fell down the chair the first time. And they're so strong.
Are you a tobacco or a snus or snuff user?
No, because they burn poorly. So it's nothing for me. No, I stick to my pipe.
Yeah.
But that is what the new generation is smoking. Water pipe tobacco, for instance, as well. E-cigarettes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And if we could just tell all these people, slow down, give yourself a break and smoke a pipe.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
How many bowls do you smoke a day on the average?
4. Okay. 3 or 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You asked me about the new Uno.
Yes. I wanted to talk about the new Uno.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the different blends of tobacco leaves that are in there, please.
Well, Uno is the main carrier of the Uno is quite a unique tobacco. It's a Catarini Perique. So, right. And now you may ask, what is that?
Yes.
Because I didn't know it either.
And does it make a difference between a Burley Perique and a Catarini Perique? Which Catarini is a Burley, isn't it?
No, Catarini is an Oriental.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm listening.
So if we're talking about the difference in Perique, St. James Perique or this Catarina Perique, Catarina Perique has natural sugar when the fermentation starts. So there are a certain amount of natural sugar in the tobacco. St. James Perique has none. So it makes it a little bit sweeter. It gets a little bit from the normal Perique, the taste, the Catarina. And I would say it turns a little bit fruity. Berries, wild berries, dark berries from the wood, and not peppery like St. James Perique. And that is what is very present in the Uno tobacco. But the whole project was a ball to do it.
And
because
how long did it take you to create from start to finish this blend?
I went to Richmond in Virginia, to Sutcliffe, and I was sitting there from Monday to Friday. And in that time I made 6 blends. I was so much out of my comfort zone that you won't believe it. because some of the tobaccos was new. So the first day was actually just getting acquainted, trying to find out what is standing here on the table, and then I could start mixing the different tobaccos together. But it was a funny time. A little bit stressy, but funny.
But Per, what crazy Greek decided to do that?
Well, I have to blame the good guys at Sutcliffe, and I accepted it. So it was not that crazy after all. But 6 days, it's a very short time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you had the experience, Per. You got the experience, and I mean, you know, 6 days for you was like a million years for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but do you have the broadcast in television where a chef is coming into a famous guy's home, opening the fridge, and he has to cook from what he finds in the fridge? Mm-hmm. That was a bit what I was doing.
That's fantastic.
So this is what you have to work with. Do something.
Now, can I ask you? And you don't have to answer. Why didn't Mac Baren? Why didn't you approach Mac Baren with this?
Well, they didn't get the idea, and Sutcliffe is a Mac Baren company.
Well, there you go. You just answered the question. Thank you.
Yeah. So it stays in the family.
Yeah. And is Mac Baren family oriented? You know, or is it very corporate? When
I started, it was family.
Okay, now it's too big. Now it's too big.
Yeah, it has gotten much bigger.
Are you planning on staying with Mac Baren till the end of time?
Probably.
I mean, I shouldn't be asking this, for God's sake. What am I saying?
Well, I take the fifth.
Yes, I understand. Stupid question. Sorry. Going back to the Uno. There's a hype. Okay, there's a marketing hype, which is good. But there's limited quantities, which is bad. Which is bad.
Yep.
Just people like me, Per. People like me sometimes don't get it.
That's correct.
Now, it's a good problem for you. Probably, I don't know. It's an issue. Why?
Well, it's also a matter about legislation, new tobaccos and stuff like that.
Man, seriously.
Yeah. So we decided to make it in small batches.
Because and how many tins were I'm gonna say printed? How many tins were printed?
I think 5,000.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I scored 2 tins then.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And furthermore, here with the Caterini, we didn't have any more Caterini, so we couldn't produce anything.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so, yeah, that's an issue.
So now there's going to be 5 other blends coming out. Is that right?
Yes. Under the name Birds of a Feather.
So are you going to call me first before it goes on sale so I can get a few tins?
I can try to give you a heads up.
I'm just
then you can publish it, and then everybody knows.
I'm joking, but I'm curious to taste that tobacco. 1 tin. I always buy 2 tins. Jeremy Reeves said, if you're gonna buy tobacco, buy 2 tins, because if you like it, you have another tin, and it's sold out. You're lucky. And if you don't like it, well, it's just another tin. You know, in American dollars in the States.
Yeah.
Because 2 tins here is over $100. So. You know. Yeah. Let me see here. I'm so happy I have you. I'm going through all these questions, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. If a tobacco is not cased, is it smokable?
Do you mean if you can smoke a tobacco you don't like, or
No, if it's not cased, not the top flavor. If it's not cased, is it tobacco smokable?
I would say I hope so, because all the HH has no top flavor.
But I'm not talking top flavor. Isn't there a fundamental flavoring put in the tobacco when you begin?
The casing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just to make that short, you have three taste givers in pipe tobacco: raw tobacco, casing, and top flavor. The casing is the connection between the top flavor and the raw tobacco.
Right.
And its role it's playing is it's enhancing the natural flavors of the tobacco. So if we are talking about, for instance, a burley, which deep down can have a little bit nutty note.
Yes. Yeah.
Then we make a casing that enhances that nutty note. So after it's cased, it will have not a clear, but it have you notice the nuttiness.
A more pronounced nutty note.
Yeah, and this casing it's nothing new.
Right.
We have a museum in Denmark, the old city, Den Gamle By, where they have a very old tobacco factory. And they have a book there from 1831 with a recipe of a casing. And casing, that's all natural stuff. It's chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate. It's maple sugar from Canada. It's cane sugar from Caribbean. It's licorice from United Kingdom. And we got a lot of different fruits we are using in our casings, depending on which tobacco we are producing. So the casing, and I would say almost all tobacco has casing.
Yeah, that's what's been told to me.
Yeah, if you have tried to smoke raw tobacco, it's not that nice.
Yeah, that's what's been told to me. It's like nah.
No, you need to get the flavor. You need to have some casing well together with the casing and the tobacco.
So when you say aromatic, that we're talking top flavor. It's not a top flavor. Then you add more stuff. No, the essences that you use to top flavor is the aromatic.
Yeah, to make a heavy aromatic, you use a lot of top flavor.
So it's heavily topped. Okay.
Cherry or vanilla or whatever you want the tobacco to taste like. That's the top flavor.
So basically, that arrogant guy who comes up to me and says, "Oh, aromatic," he doesn't know anything.
No.
That's good to know.
Or he's stuck in his all natural wave. I don't know.
Going back to the Uno, what flavors am I expecting in the first one?
There are no top flavor.
Right, but
so
what
they're natural.
Yeah.
In the Uno, you would expect fruitiness, a little bit berries, pleasant, a little bit, I would say, a little bit sweet.
Okay.
But not sweet in the aromatic way. Please don't. But in it's a natural sweetness that is underlying. And then I try to balance it out with different components of red Virginia, with filler Virginias, with burleys. And I think it, in my opinion, it was rather a good blend.
Who designed the tin?
That is a brother of our managing director in Richmond. He's a very good artist. Did
you have a choice?
No, that was finished, because otherwise we were out of deadlines. So
So, how far apart will these blends come out?
I think they are meant to come out this year, all of them.
Okay.
Or it could be that a couple of them is postponed until next year.
And the same artist on the tin all the time?
Yeah, but different birds.
Right.
The
And
the the key words here is birds of a feather.
I get it. Flock together. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And so the name Uno means the first one, obviously.
yeah. Or it's a special tobacco. There can only be one.
Oh, I see.
Uno.
I see. Can you name me the names of the other ones coming out?
Oh, I have to be totally honest. I can't remember them.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
If you have told me, I could have had it on my screen, but I haven't. So
No, that's okay. I understand. They told you to shut up, or else they'd not.
no problem, no problem.
You
But
signed
you'll
it.
find out, and I'll let you know.
Yes, please. Per, I could sit here talking all the time. My God. Look, we're gonna cut it now. It's an hour and a half. I really appreciate your time, and it's too bad. I know you're going to the Chicago Pipe show. I was gonna go. Maybe I would have bought you a beer if you're a beer drinker. Actually, I would have brought a beer from Quebec, and then you would have been stunned. Stunned.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyways, oh, when you guys get together, all the master blenders and all the hot shots, you guys like each other or you hate each other?
No. Last year, no, not last year. Last time in Richmond for the Richmond Pipe Show.
Yeah.
In October, I think it's 2 years ago. There was Jeremy Reeves,
Right.
Ross Olet, and myself, and we were making one seminar. Meeting the evening before, having something nice to eat, and discussing who does what, and it was quite a night. No, we don't hate each other. Why should we?
I'm just saying. Like I
No.
know that in the forefront, in front of people, you guys are best of friends. But when you're eating, you don't add extra salt in Jeremy's pasta.
Yeah, I know it's not the medical industry. This
I understand. And
it's tobacco.
One last question: these new designers that are coming out, they're not extremely young. But for example, Joe Langford never did anything, but he's an older gentleman and he's always done it for himself. But am I right to say that it's a new sort of like the cake? It's a new sort of thing. It's very, very English oriented. The same thing with Watch City Cigars. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? That
Yeah.
new. So is this is new? Am I right?
Yeah, I think we are back into to an age where people go natural. You have to remember when you are watching television, they're always saying biological or ecological
Right.
food are much better, and I think that have gotten a little bit into tobacco as well.
I think so.
Or people are just, or some people are just tired of smoking aromatics, and they want something else. And thank God there are so many good blends out there that are
yes, there are.
more or less natural.
And do you have? Can we talk about the different houses that you smoke? The Samuel Gawith. Do you do that, or you stick primarily with Mac Baren World?
Normally, I stick with Mac Baren World.
Okay, and is that a professional thing or is that a personal thing?
It's how I look at it. Okay. Because if I smoke Samuel Gawith, that would be meaning I was going to make a copy of what they're doing.
And what's wrong with that?
I just don't see why.
Well, all artists steal and make their own.
Yeah, but it comes sneaking in the night when you're dreaming.
So you want to sleep well. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Shall we say the closest thing I have ever been to going into an English blend was actually the rustica.
Wow.
because it's a natural blend, and it's a tobacco that was smoked 400 years ago, and it's just like, so to say, Samuel Garwood would have made it.
Yeah, yeah.
But they didn't, so I did. But besides that, there are no comparison. They have their taste profile. Mac Baren we have ours.
Yeah. And does the machinery make a difference in the taste profile?
No, I would say it's more how you treat the tobacco.
Okay.
How you work with it, and what you are adding, casing, and if you're adding flavor as well. It depends how you do it.
Okay.
And each fact, normally we say there are no secrets in tobacco manufacturing, except for the casing and top flavor.
Okay. Okay.
Because each factory have their own recipes, and that is something we don't share.
So if Mac Baren dies tomorrow, will they not license that recipe to somebody, or they'll just take it to the grave?
That is a question you have to ask to somebody above my pay grade. I wouldn't know.
Okay, Per, thank you very much. I'm gonna cut it here.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm so pleased and an honor to meet you. I wish I could go to Chicago, but I work in palliative care, so
yeah,
they need me.
So you plan it for next year?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Otherwise, we meet on your screen again when you have found out some more questions.
Great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
then
by the way, can you get me a job as a taster at Mac Baren?
Yeah, if you accept to go on as number 1587 on the list.
Is that right? Holy
that is right.
God.
That is right. Yeah.
Seriously, eh? So I guess you have your main tasters, right? The people that you trust, that have a developed sense.
Yeah, we have a professional sensoric panel.
Okay.
It's
and how many people does that consist of? 14 pipe smokers. So, testing tobaccos. I mean, these people are lucky, but they have a responsibility too.
They have a very big responsibility because we don't even do not always use it for development. We also use it for quality control. Does the mixture taste today like it did 1 year ago?
And how the hell are you going to remember?
Because we did a test 1 year ago. So when they are putting their taste profile, we put it into a computer and it draws what I call a taste star.
Okay.
And those two we can put on top of each other, and they should be more or less the same. Otherwise, something has gone wrong.
Is there a way I on the internet that I can get it like whiskey? We have a taste profile for whiskey. Is there any way we can get something for tobacco like that?
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't been looking for it. We have our own system, and unfortunately, I'm not allowed to pass it on.
No, it's proprietary. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Maybe I'll make my own, but
Yeah.
Fair, man. Thank you so much. If I was there, I'd kiss you because I'm Italian, but I'm not here. Yeah. I'm not there.
If you were here, I would accept it. Okay. Yeah, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah.
Ciao.
Ciao.